that's pretty fast.
That's right.
That is fast.
I can't like that fast.
That's just because I can feel my calves cramping up. Going, I
Gotta keep moving.
The downhill. And getting our body.
Yeah, our biggest. There's like a loop I can do that's like just a little over 7 miles. God. Yeah. Taking breath bikes. I tried that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I tried the beer. That was great. Yeah.
What's up?
Morning, everyone.
Morning, Nick.
Great. Good job, class. Welcome to St. Andrew Dairy School and our August Power Hour. This is the new school. Jake's going to be talking to us about this in just a little bit. But first, we're going to get started off with our EDA education series. We've got Courtney Rooney here. She's going to talk to us about mental health awareness. So, Courtney,
Wow, I
it's
get
all
to
yours.
jump right in. Thank
First on
you.
the agenda.
Yeah. Good morning. I know many faces out there, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Courtney Rooney. I'm born and raised here. Went into social work and got my master's and license in therapy, and then came back home. So I kind of doing a part-time gig right now. I still work at the high school, which I've been at for almost 20 years now. Love it there, and I work with teens and adolescents doing therapy in the high school. And then I've also taken a new part-time position at KLN as their dream manager. So kind of a new program kind of going across the states, but working with people kind of the same on what is your dreams, but also kind of balancing that with mental health and trying to make more of that connection between employees and their employers and kind of working on some of those things going on. So Lisa reached out a little bit and asked if I would do, I just called it kind of mental health one-on-one and things we've seen. I think the words have popped up a little bit more since COVID, which I think has been some great things, that people are a little more willing to talk about it. They know it's out there and we know it's real. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little overview of what we've been seeing, and then if you guys have any questions, we can kind of go from there. I just kind of did an overview on mental health. I actually presented this at KLN when we kind of did our talk, but I think it's much of the work I do with young adults in the high school. I listed kind of the 4 main areas that we're seeing lately: depression, anxiety, kind of those worries, post-traumatic stress disorder, and then the addiction. So I'm just going to explain a little bit of these and kind of what to look for. For depression, I always like to start out too by saying with these mental health symptoms, all of this is normal and all of this is okay. So yes, we're going to feel depressed sometimes if something sad happens in our life. Yes, we're going to feel worried when we get really stressed. Yes, if trauma happens, those things are going to happen. It's when these are kind of taken to an extreme, when they kind of are stopping you from enjoying daily living, that we want to seek some other supports and some helps, be it a child, a teen, all the way up to the elderly, seeing some of these symptoms. So depression. Depression is going to be that sadness, that persistent sadness or irritability. When you feel really depressed, you don't even want to get out of bed in the morning. You could have the best plans of the day and you kind of just feel like rolling over and going back to sleep. You lose interest in pleasures and activities you usually enjoy. If you're one that likes to, go out with friends or go fishing or go camping, and all of a sudden you're like, I don't really care if I go or not. That's concerning. And then those body things that are going on that may change. The sleep disturbances, either sleeping too much, never wanting to get up, or not sleeping enough, and your mind is kind of wandering and you're having a hard time going to sleep. The eating changes. We all know what emotional eating can be, but either eating too much and trying to soothe yourself that way, or not having an appetite at all. And then a lot, you'll see that tiredness, just kind of really loss of energy, a little lethargic. For anxiety, kind of that worry bug, kind of that hamster going on the wheel in your mind. So that persistent worry, the kind that never stops. You know, we all have stressors, especially in today's busy world, but when those little worries never stop and you're worrying about maybe things in the future, obviously that we're not sure can happen or not, but you just can't stop that mind from going. Difficulty handling the uncertainty, especially we see this in kids. Those with high anxiety like to know what's going to come next and like to know the plan for the day. We may have employees that same way who do better with kind of that agenda and knowing what's coming and kind of some of those surprises that pop up. Indecisiveness and difficulty making decisions. Those anxious people who are really struggling just can't decide anything because they're always afraid they're going to make that wrong decision, but that constant kind of pressure going on in their mind. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. A lot of times we hear this when we think of like some military who have gone off to war and seen things about battles, but it also could be if you have a traumatic experience as a child or a young adult, or even as an adult growing up. So any of the neglect, sexual, physical, emotional abuse, it could be things such as a fire or a tornado or a car accident, whatever it might be, that an event that happens that's just kind of rocked your world and you're kind of stuck there. They often will have the reoccurrent memories of the distressing event that may come in the form of nightmares or just flashbacks or a smell or a sound or something that kind of triggers them back to that spot. Again, the flashbacks and nightmares, and just a severe emotional distress and physical reaction. So some of those feelings of, their bodies may be going through some things. They may have trouble sleeping or eating. They just can't get through that traumatic event that happened. And finally, addictions. And I think as laws have changed, August 1st, I think our world might change a little bit in this area. Feelings that you have to use or need chemicals regularly. So this addiction could be the alcohol. It could be, the vapes, the marijuana. They may not be physically addictive, but we know emotionally and mentally, these are some things that people are often struggling with. The increased need for this chemical to gain the same results. Often when I talk to, and I can relate to teens and young adults right now, I would say when I started my job 20 years ago, when they talked about like kind of going out with their friends or experimenting with chemicals, it was more like to go to the field, to go to that party and to have fun with their friends, and they kind of felt crummy the next day. What I'm feeling now is a lot of my kids that are very open about their use, it's that self-medicating. So, all the way from not the school life and struggling with things going on at home and just kind of wanting to feel numb, to my straight A, 4.0 stud athletes trying to get into college, and it's just too much. And it's really easy to take a hit of something and just kind of have all those pressures go away for that short amount of time and then try to deal with what else is coming. But I'm seeing more and more of the addictions. People are pretty open and honest with me about that, and I appreciate that. But I think it's definitely going to be something where we have to talk more about some resources for that. And I think with addictions too, we all know, my own family, I know is very, very addictive. Those feelings won't go away. It's just kind of your chemical makeup. But where can you push those addictions? So, be it, I may like to go out for runs in the morning, or I need my coffee every day. And not that some of those are always the healthiest, but we have to work with these people to find a way. Addictive feeling just doesn't go away. So just find a way to kind of move it in the right direction to being addicted to something a little healthier. Choosing chemicals over their daily life activities. So I'm just throwing up a bunch of these symptoms up there just to let us know some of this stuff is really real and true to all of us. But it's when it's these words, the excessive, the extreme, when these become something that's kind of taken over life. It may be if it's your own child, if it's a coworker, if it's your best friend, if it's your sibling. These are some of the things we're looking for. Some of the causes, quick. Genetic. So how I explain it best is when you're born, you you're half your mom's brain and half your dad's brain. So some of this stuff, we can control and some of it we can't. If there's depression in your family and someone in your family is going through depression and has that chemical makeup in their brain, there's a chance that you may. Some it may trigger, some you may have someone who struggles in your family and you're able to overcome that or whatever it may be. But often if that's kind of in your family, that happens to follow through and follow suit. Trauma, again, if something happened to you, a life circumstance, that's kind of happened in the past. And I think we all know just day-to-day stress and day-to-day living can cause some of these feelings. But there are some interventions. So I just kind of threw up a little bit, kind of on my job. Once I initially meet with someone kind of diagnosed and kind of, I think relationship building is the biggest thing. Just meeting people where they're at. It's pretty humbling on my end to hear people's stories from kids at high school that are willing to take that chance with me and tell me what's going on. To me, very, very touching and hard. I mean, for young males to young females who want to be up here and look like they got everything going on to say they're struggling is hard. And having that relationship is what helps open up all the way to some of the adults I work with. You know, when I'm seeing people who are older and I feel wiser than me, able to share some of their struggles, I think is pretty humbling. So once we get that diagnosis, therapy and counseling can help. So being able to just talk to someone who maybe not know you as well in the beginning, but just to, we all know, sometimes it's just, you know, they're not always looking for answers, they just want someone to listen. And my job isn't necessarily to find the answers, but just to kind of help them, walk them through in the right way. And teens will tell me right away, like, stop talking, I just want you to listen. And they're true. I think we have to do a little bit more of that. Medical treatment. So sometimes, you know, therapy can help, but if it's a chemical makeup in your brain, you know, as much as we want things to be natural, and we try everything else kind of first, sometimes meds are an answer. I know even with the ADHD and sometimes the depression and anxiety, just to kind of take that edge off, so they're still able to live life, can be life-changing. Again, not a happy pill. You know, some people will want to take this and just kind of feel better. It doesn't always work that way, but just to kind of take that edge off, so you're able to get out of that into your things can be very helpful. And then self-care, the little things like exercise. I can't tell you how many home visits I went on this summer with teenage kids that have not left their house. And I go, you know, I invite them in and they're like, you know, come sit down, and the parents will say, can you go check out the room? And they have the drapes closed. I mean, you can even tell the color of their skin, you know, and just to get them outside and take a walk. And love technology, but it can kind of take over some people's lives. And for some of these kids, that is their comfort. You know, they're there with their friends, they're gaming, they're on their phone, whatever. But I'm really concerned about kind of them getting outside and get some of that exercise. Healthy eating, food choices. You know, I'll talk with people about even the energy drinks and some of those things that are going on right now we feel going to give us that boost in energy, but how important water is. The good sleep, and taking care of yourself that way and having some rest, and then having that support of family and friends. Finding that those one or two people that are your go-to people. So a little prevention. Pay attention to those warning signs. And if this is, I'll talk to you guys as business owners, if this is an employee you're concerned about, it's sometimes hard. How do you say that? You know, how do you say that without offending someone? But I think more than not, to be real with them and just saying something as simple as, hey, you're doing okay, you know, I know you're not safe within yourself, and just kind of leaving it open-ended. I think just you recognizing that they're struggling a little bit sometimes is all that they need. Some businesses have amazing EAP, employee assistance programs, that will offer free sessions. I know through KLN, it's 4 free therapy sessions, and if I have 7 people in my family, I can get 28 sessions. And that can be used for me, or I can spread it about my family. So I know it might vary with different people, but we have great counseling in Perm. People chose Lakeland's in the schools, integrity counseling. I know there's Lakeland downtown. Some people are more comfortable going out. There's great places in Detroit Lakes, Burgess Falls, males, females, young, old, whatever it might be, but kind of finding their go-to person. But even just connecting them with some resources, but I just think that first thing is just kind of recognizing them and just stopping and giving them a little bit of time. I think you're going to be amazed at how much they kind of sometimes open up. Routine medical care, how important it is to get their yearly physicals and talk with their doctors, who are great people too, who want to do what's best for them. Taking care of ourselves, I know, especially in your roles, you guys are doing lots and taking care of others all the time, but also to check yourself sometimes. And when you yourself are struggling a little bit, who is your go-to? Who is your person? And just taking time for yourself sometimes, especially in today's world, it's hard, but being okay and giving yourself the grace to do that. And again, taking good care of yourself. The eating, sleeping, and exercise, I think we can talk about lots and lots, but yeah, these are just some of those preventative signs as we work through some of those hard times. I think that was my last one. Yeah, that was my last one. So I know that was kind of mental health in a nutshell, but do you guys have any questions for me? I'll throw out one last thing too, that is kind of easier for some people. If you do a rating scale, you say, hey, I'm still 1 to 10, how are you doing? With your kids at home. Sometimes it's easier to give a number than for you to say, how are you feeling, or I'm struggling. I think that number can say a lot of things. So I've used it with adults too, and sometimes they're a little bit more comfortable throwing that and go, do you need a little check-in? But if you ever need any help with the resources, Nick has my information. I'd love to share any of the resources in this area or outside this area. And thank you for what you do. Have a good day.
Great stuff. Thank you, Courtney. We're gonna do a little switch up on the agenda. We've got a couple of guys here that need to get going, but if you remember at last month's meeting, we introduced a student entrepreneur membership option for the chamber. It's a reduced rate. Anyone who is a full-time student and they have a business, they're eligible to get this this membership type. So Jackson Bain, Braden Glorvigan are the first ones to take us up on that, and they've got Via Marketing. They're gonna come up and talk to us now. Come on up, fellas.
Thank you. Morning, guys. So we're gonna keep it super brief. I'm just gonna go over kind of how we started, and then he's gonna go over what we do. So we started in January of this year, so we're just a little over 6 months old. Very, very new. It's been brewing for a long time before January. It's been probably 4 months before we each dabbled in our own field of things. We did some kind of stuff online beforehand, and none of it really worked out. And we put our ideas together, and we came up with better marketing, and it's definitely been like a staple in our lives for the past 6 years for sure. Especially, it's hard to balance between school and this and sports and all that, but I mean, we find time to manage it, and I feel like personally we've done a very good job so far. And then so that's kind of how we got started and everything, and kind of.
Yeah, it's definitely been a good experience. So, like you said, we kind of had our own things going beforehand, and that's where we've learned a lot of the skills that we use now. So, essentially, what we do is anything in regards to digital marketing, online marketing. So, whether it comes to online advertising or website builds, we also do a lot of AI integration into things like advertisements and stuff like that. So, we look a lot into AI and that sort of thing. So, yeah, if anybody, I'm not gonna go too in detail right now, but if anybody's kind of interested to talk more about maybe integrating AI or integrating some of these digital marketing services into your business, I'd be more than happy to just talk some shop, whatever. If you wanna give us a text or a call, I think our details are on the website. So yeah, feel free to get in touch, and yeah, we can talk about it all we have. Yeah.
Amazing. Anybody have questions for these guys?
Do you have a website out there that we can?
Yeah, it's just better marketing.
All lowercase. Yeah. So yeah, and then like you said, we gotta head out now. So as much as we'd like to stay and see everybody else, and we gotta get to our other jobs. So yeah, thanks guys. Yeah.
like they said, their contact information is all on the chamber website, business director, so if you're interested, reach out, or go get our guys there, so. Coffee is here, I wasn't here at the beginning, but Jason got it ready, thanks Jason. So if you need a refill, go ahead and grab that. We also have our signups, for the giveaways, we've got the normal pizza, and then we've got some great gifts from Otterberry, thank you for bringing those. Otherwise, next on the agenda, we've got Jason Smith. Mr. Smith,
Good morning, everybody.
thank you for letting us use this.
Yeah, welcome to our school. Just going to talk briefly about kind of where we're at with the project. The last thing that you probably noticed when you drove up is the old school is gone and the parking lot area is kind of being prepped and getting ready for what we're calling the paved playground / parking area. Hopefully, well, maybe before school starts, but maybe not. We'll see how that goes. Construction is a unique field. It makes you discover your patience level quite quickly. After your meeting today, feel free to just walk around. We are in the midst of summer cleaning, so stuff isn't quite how it needs to be yet for the beginning of September, but just walk through. I'll be around if you have questions, just to look at things. I'll have the gym doors open. Can't get too lost. It's all in one little flowing area here. I'm going to talk a little bit about our numbers. We have about 115 K-6 kids this year signed up, and then we have about 40 kids in our preschool program. We do kind of an a la carte program where they can pick how many days they're there. We're licensed for, I believe, 32. So there's never more than that many there at one time, but that's held across the street at the old funeral home. So those kids come over here for lunch and the gym space and such on a daily basis, but they're over there. So 150 total. If you go back 15 years ago, we had 85 kids total. So things are on the grow here, and we're excited about our new facility. It's pretty nice. We've updated our technology if we can figure out how to use it. And it's just nice having air conditioning in the summer. Last year, or 2 years ago, if you'd have had a meeting in that old building, it'd have been about 95 in there in the summer. So it's been really quite a deal. The whole project was $8.1 million. We have $8.2 million raised. We're still waiting on about $500,000 to come in on the pledges yet. So it was fully funded by private donations, 100%. So we're pretty proud of that, and we're just happy to be serving the kids in our community. So feel free to ask questions either now or afterward, and enjoy your time here.
Awesome.
Thanks, Jason.
Moving right along, we've got Rachel Olstead here to talk to us about something that she's got brewing. What do you think? It's not brewing.
It's not.
Fermenting, there you go.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rachel Olson. I'm not an official member of the chamber, but I'm kind of filling in for Blossom, who's now here with Lux. And just a little plug for St. Mary's. My kids go here and they absolutely love it. So, well done, Jason. Appreciate the space for sure. So, yeah. So just a little bit about me. Like I said, I'm filling in for Blossom. My family moved to Durham from Fargo about 2 years ago, and so in that time, I have had a lot of different career changes, all self-selected, just by a lot of adventure and trying new things. My undergrad from NDSU is French education, and I taught high school French and a little bit of middle school. Although that is not my preference. For those of you who have middle schoolers or who teach, but love them. Anyways, I taught in Fargo for about 6 years, and it's just always been a passion of mine. With that, I have kind of just become, through my travels to France and just around Europe and throughout the world, I'm just kind of not a wine snob, but a wine appreciator. And so with that, I approached Blossom this summer as I was kind of settling down, I guess, after I quit teaching in 2019, which was like the perfect time to quit teaching. I ended up starting my own company, and I was doing leadership, mindset, marketing, coaching, and consulting for the last 4 years for mostly digital entrepreneurs. I set that aside, felt very called to be done with that business this summer. And so that opened up some opportunities for me to just dabble in some other things. And so I approached Blossom because if any of you don't know, she has actually opened up her own kind of event rental space right downtown, right near Gathering Grounds. I believe it took over, correct me if I'm wrong, the old City, is that correct?
Yep.
Oh, that was yours, okay. Well, this is
My building, it's
perfect, yeah. One chapter closes
It's
and
a
another
perfect
one
space,
opens. Yeah, it is such a beautiful space, so you did a great job preserving it. And so Blossom now has that space. Yeah, and she has been, just finding different opportunities to host events there as well. And so I approached her. I've been wanting to do this type of event, like a wine tasting / like basic French conversational class for adults, obviously. Since back in the day, if anyone's familiar with the Hodo in Fargo, we had worked together with one of their sommelier, which sommelier is like a wine expert, and I am not one. It is a very, very, very rigorous, like doctorate level study when it comes to wine. So if you want a doctorate in wine, you can come be a sommelier. Anyway, so we decided to just put on this fun event. Tickets are only $39, but essentially what we are doing, and I'm kind of leading the charge, she also, along with the Cactus, is catering for us. And so we are doing a tasting of 4 different French wines that I have curated and selected, 2 reds, 2 whites, and it's going to be a really fun time. We're also going to do basic, very basic French conversational skills. I have some things that I'm going to be teaching just for fun, just so it's not just a tasting, but also some very basic things like greetings and just basic questions, things like that. That will be super helpful if any of you travel or do travel. French is one of the fastest growing global languages, and so I'm just super passionate about it. And also I think it's just kind of fun to laugh at ourselves and just to explore other languages and cultures. I have been sharing my French also with the students here at St. Henry's, not just French, but kind of a language exploration, and so that has been one of my passions as well, teaching a little bit of French, Latin, German, and Spanish, and I shared it with the students here, hoping to expand that maybe to the public schools as well, but wanted to bring it kind of in a different form. I don't know many adults that want to sit in an hour-long class and learn French, so I thought we'd throw some wine and cheese in there, so we're going to be having some French cheeses and some other little snacks. So this is happening this Thursday night at Lux downtown from 7 to 9. Like I said, tickets are $39. Here is the square link to buy. Also, this I believe is on the chamber form, whatever, so you can use that QR code as well. But yeah, I think that is it. Just kind of a fun night out is what our intention was. Nothing formal, and just to kind of explore again, moving to from Fargo. I feel very blessed to be in this community, but I also am feeling like I just want to provide other opportunities for different cultural references, I guess. Just again, coming from my travels to Fargo, to a small town. I grew up in a small town too, and so I think it's just fun to be able to explore other languages and cultures that we may not get to experience on a daily basis. So that's a little bit about me, a little bit about the event. Yeah, anyone has any questions? I'll try to stay the whole time, but again, that's kind of the gist of it. So, cool. All right,
Awesome.
merci.
All right, next we've got BJ Peters here with Perham Pickleball Club, and we've got some events coming up.
Yeah. So the Perham Pickleball Club, we formulated as a club back in May of 2021 for the purpose of deciding if we should build outdoor courts in Perham. And it's been a great success. We did open 8 courts with cooperation from many people in September of 2022. So that was pretty exciting. So with the community support, business support, and club members, we raised the money to basically open these courts. So we have the KLN courts at Arvin Park. They have been a huge hit. We are pulling people in from Battle Lake and Fergus Falls, Detroit Lakes and all around the community, people are coming every day to play. One day, in the last week or so, we had over 80 people there in the morning, crowding these 8 courts. But it was super fun to see. Been out there in the evening, seeing families play, adults and kids. So it's just a game that, really can go for all the ages. We are pulling in a lot of resort people and a lot of visitors. I'm amazed almost every day when I'm out there playing, and Monday through Friday in the mornings, we have people out there. We give lessons, by the way. Our focus has changed to kind of growing the sport of pickleball, so lessons on Wednesday morning. So these resort people are packing their paddles, and they are loving our courts. On Saturday, I happened to go out and play. There was a whole group of people from north of Detroit Lakes that heard about how awesome Perham's courts were and came down to play. I also know one person who he comes and plays, and his wife goes downtown and eats and shops while he's playing. So it's kind of been a benefit to our community. As a club, we're trying to grow the sport of pickleball. Brad Offit, who's here with me, also gives lessons. We also do a lot of social things. Pickleball is known to be a social sport. We visit area businesses every couple of weeks. We have what we call fine dining. It's just a social outing. We go and just eat and be merry and enjoy each other. Along with that, we have an opportunity, and it's this Thursday. One of our club members, Sherry, she lives here in the summertime. She's in a band, and these band members come from all around the area, and they wanted to have a concert, just kind of a drop money in a bucket kind of free concert kind of thing. And the Salty Pickle was gracious enough to host it. So if you're not doing the wine events the other night, right? So that sounds like a lot of fun. We're going to be out at the Salty Pickle this Thursday night. The other thing that we've got going is we are having our first tournament. So we're calling it the Showcase Showdown to showcase our beautiful courts. The response to our tournament has kind of been a little overwhelming. We have over 50 teams coming, over 80 unique individuals, and it's going to be, I think, a really cool event. I get like 3-4 emails a day asking about this event. So we'll be giving out, I worked with Leah, we're going to give out the kind of, I'm calling them swag bags with chamber coupons and chamber information in it. I've also reached out to Pioneer Days because of the proximity of our courts to Pioneer Days. People could technically walk over there so that, there might be food options or entertainment options when they're not playing. So I guess that's what we have. If you guys have ideas of what else we want to advertise in our swag bags, feel free to contact me. But
Yeah, if you want to add anything,
yeah,
you can drop them off at the chamber office before Lisa comes and gets
Yeah.
them, whenever that is.
yeah, we'll get them all. Whatever you want to add, we'd be happy to throw in there. It's pretty exciting to see the response that we've gotten. So thank you guys for your time, and thanks for your support of Perham Pickleball.
Yeah, if you haven't been out to the courts since they were tennis courts a couple years ago, it is beautiful. They've expanded the footprint a little bit, and the trees around, it's just awesome out there. So. Moving right along here, we got Sue Staffy here to give us an update on the Children's Corner. What's going on?
Awesome pictures.
Thanks, Google.
How did you get in my center? I never saw you walk in the door. I'm really picky about who comes through that door.
It's a really nice article.
I watch out for you. So thank you. Thanks for inviting me. So actually, we are a very brand new chamber member. We just joined. So this is kind of my very first hurrah. I always call Children's Corner, especially in Perham. In Perham, I always call it like the best kept secret. People don't even know that we are here and that we've been here for 10 years. People are shocked when they hear there's been a childcare center in this town for 10 years. A little history, Children's Corner originates in our main location actually is in Fergus Falls. We are a nonprofit childcare center. we've been open for over 52 years, which is very unheard of actually in the world, first of all, of childcare, and second of all, for nonprofits. So I'm really proud to say that we've worked really hard to keep our doors open for families who are in need of care, right? So in Fergus Falls, we actually reside, if anybody remembers that what we would call the old Target is now called Lincoln School in Fergus Falls, and it's all early childhood education. The school district purchased that building, they remodeled it. I mean, they refurbished it. You wouldn't even know it was a Target. It's an amazing, beautiful building. And they invited us to be guests in their building, so to speak. We are paying rent, so we're paying guests in their building to have our business expand and be part of that early childhood community. So when my board of directors and I had that conversation, we moved from a building that we've been in for, 20, 30 years into this brand new, beautiful building in Fergus Falls. And I have down there, we have 10 classrooms down there. And we are licensed for 82 children in Fergus Falls. Again, we've been there for 52 years, so people know us very well. We do great work. We have awesome staff. So we were so excited about that. Well, many years back when Perm Health was building their new Perm Health, I had approached Chuck and said, hey, are you interested in a childcare center coming to, the former, the clinic area? I know that you're refurbishing and whatnot. My goal in my life had always been, I would love to see some intergenerational things happening with children. I've been in early childhood for over 32 years. I actually have been a college instructor at M State for 32 years. I started the program, I wrote all the curriculum, and I taught. And as of May 8th, I retired from teaching at M State. And so with that being said, because, I didn't have enough to do for the 32 years, I decided that 17 of the 32 years I'd take a second job and become the executive director for Children's Corner. So my conversation with Chuck at that time, he was really intrigued and excited about having intergenerational care within that community. So it all happened and we all moved in and they remodeled a portion of the clinic. I think it's the old radiology area is actually where we were to start with, which is really interesting. For those of you that know my husband, Sean, who's a high school teacher here in Perham for 28 years, he also just retired this year. So our combined 60 years of teaching is now done, and as of Labor Day, we're not going back to school. So we're both kind of looking forward to that, actually. But he was teasing me because it was the radiology area. He said, your babies are going to turn green down there. So I'm like, okay, that is not even funny. So he got me just so worried about where these babies were going to be. He's terrible. Anyway, with that being said, so we set up down there and we had one infant room, one toddler room, and then a preschool room. And that's how we all began down there. We had enough to bring in plenty of families. We have never had to advertise. We've always been full. It's been word of mouth. I've had families who've had 4 children go through. They've been with me almost for the full 10 years. And so we've built a really solid base to start with. Move on now down the road, and here we are again. And everybody here in this room has probably heard and you're aware of the child care crisis, right? There is. It's rough. There's a lot of families, young families, all families that can't find childcare. They're struggling. And that's the same thing that was happening within the Perm Health staff and the KLN staff. Their staffs were struggling for childcare. And so when the Boys and Girls Club relocated to a different part of our town, I was asked by Perm Health, so what are your thoughts? What are your plans? What are you thinking? What would you like to do? And I said, if I ever had the opportunity, we'd love to expand and open up that side where the Boys and Girls Club was and open up more childcare, because I know there's a growing need for it in the community. And so entered our discussion with Perm Health and with KLN, and together we kind of just formed a partnership. We have an agreement. We have specific number of slots set aside for Perm Health staff, and we have certain number of slots set aside for KLN staff, and we still have community slots. So we're serving everybody that had a need, right? And so Perm Health has graciously remodeled that space for us. And this is just one of their, it's absolutely gorgeous. It is a beautiful building. We are so blessed to have the space that we have compared to what we used to have over there. And we were fine. Honestly, we were fine and we were making it work and we were just fine. But this is a whole new level of childcare. It is absolutely gorgeous. We now, when we used to have just one room of everything, we now have 2 rooms of everything. I can house right now 14 toddlers, 16 infants, 20 preschoolers, and then we now have one last room ready to open. There's one room left to go, and that one is in construction right now. And after that, we should take another 7 to 10 more toddler or preschoolers, depending on what age we put in that classroom. So when all is said and done, we will be licensed for over 60 children in this child care center that we probably started with maybe 25 or 30. And now we've pretty much doubled everything. And so we provide full day care Monday through Friday. We changed our hours to accommodate the staff at both of those locations. And so we are opening at 6:45 in the morning. And we've got blocks of time that parents can choose all the way up till 5:30 in the evening. And so we're a full day event. We serve breakfast. We cater lunch from the nursing home cafeteria, which is amazing food. It's really good food. And then we provide a snack in the afternoon. We've got fenced-in playgrounds. And it's a great partnership. As of now, and we started in May, I think is when we moved in finally to our new space. We have all of the slots filled for their staff, except there's still one infant opening for Perm Health and one infant opening for KLN. Otherwise, they have filled their slots. So we've been able to help support those businesses by providing childcare for their staff. And many of them, some of them are new, some of them are brand new staff that were moving here, taking jobs there, needed childcare. And because those slots were available, we were able to offer them a place to go for childcare. I myself, I have, as I said, I've been in early childhood for 32 years. I've got a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. I spent the majority of my life teaching this program in college. I raised 4 children, and 3 of our 4 kids all have children. And I know what it's like to struggle to find childcare because I was the one to tour all the places that they were going to bring my grandchildren to decide if they could go there or not. So, and I know what it was like. I toured many places, especially down the cities where my daughter lives. We toured many places down there. And boy, it's very interesting, the struggle. The hard part about a center that people don't understand is the cost is going to be very different than a home child care. It has to be. I've got overhead like everybody has overhead. I have to pay staff. I have to pay rent. I have to pay for my food. All those things, nothing's free. We're paying for everything. So therefore, and anybody here who has staff, you already know the costs of your staff, right? Staffing is what, 75% of your budget, probably most of the time. And all of the things that go with payroll, I have to pay for. So one thing that people don't understand is why the cost has to be higher than a home daycare. But it does have to be. If we didn't have the cost where we have it right now, we wouldn't make it. My line has been for 17 years I've been with Children's Corner, has been we're nonprofit, but I can't be less than nonprofit. There's no way I can go under the nonprofit piece, right? We have to stay open. And so with that, I do a lot of grant writing for all of the things that you see here. The items there are ours. I purchased them. We had to double everything we needed to buy to expand, which means a lot of my time is grant writing and finding and digging for money anywhere that I can find money. I'm a pretty good digger. So when it comes to looking for money, I'm the one that looks. And that's part of my job in keeping it going. I've got a building manager that does the day-to-day operations there. I have one in Fergus Falls that does operations there. And right now I've got, between the 2 locations, I think I've got well over 40 staff that I manage and take care of. The majority of my staff are women, and they're women in a career that does not pay a lot of money. A lot of women who do this career do it for the love of children, and they don't do it because they're making a ton of money, because they're not. And that's the sad part of what happens in early childhood. And when you hear about child care crisis, part of the crisis is our staff don't make enough money to stay within field long enough to do it, right? And so Children's Corner goal, because I have been an advocate always for pay. 2 years ago, we raised the pay of our staff $4 an hour in one fell swoop. We did that just simply because I couldn't stand it anymore. You could go to McDonald's and make more money than what my staff is making, taking care of probably the most precious resource we have in this world is our children. And so we made the big jump. And so with that being said, I'm digging even for more money because they deserve it. And although they got a great raise, it's still not enough. They're not making enough. They're not making a living wage that they should be making at this point. And so if there's anything you could ever do, is to help support or encourage any additional legislation that would help support early childhood and early childhood workers. Because I'm telling you, this is real. We've had more centers close in the state of Minnesota in the last year than I've seen in the 17 years that I've done this, because they can't afford it anymore. And their workers are leaving because they can't afford to work there. They love the job, they want to do the job, but they can't afford to stay there and support a family. And so one of my goals, and it's always been my goal, is to keep my wages at a somewhat decent rate, and most people, when I hire them, honestly, they're like, oh my gosh, I just came from North Dakota. You pay like, $7 an hour higher than them, which makes me just terrified that that's what they're making in North Dakota. It makes me sad. But I mean, to hear that we're actually paying top wage is wonderful, but it's sad at the same time because it's not a top wage. It's not what people should make in this field at all. And I think that we need to value that more. And yes, I'm getting on my soapbox here, but I just met with Senator Rasmussen just yesterday in my office, and we had this whole discussion. I'm very active at the state level. I'm very active in the legislature. It's something that I have a passion about. And now that I'm not working 2 full-time jobs, I'm down to 1, I'll have more time to do more advocacy if I can. So please ask questions. Like I said, I don't mind. I'm a teacher. I've done this for years. So if you have questions, please ask. If you want to chat with me afterwards, we are thrilled. We're excited. We're almost full already. And I just see a great future more for Children's Corner. And we appreciate our partners. We are thrilled to be there. When we have our big opening, after this classroom's done, I'm going to do a big opening, and I hope everybody comes to take a peek at it. It is a beautiful building, and we are blessed to be there. So thank you very much. If you've got questions, please ask.
Awesome. Thank you, and welcome to the chamber.
Thank you.
We did have Jesse Hine on the agenda. I don't see him here. He's the new Perm football coach. We'll maybe catch up with him next month, hopefully. Otherwise, next on the agenda is me. We've got the Chamber Golf Scramble coming up next week already. Next Thursday. On the 17th, we'll be out at Perm Lakeside. We've got currently 53 teams signed up. 54. Did we get to 54?
Yep, he was on
54
it.
teams. We're full. Okay.
Then
So
15 minutes he had me.
we're filling up all 27 holes on the golf course. It's going to be a great time. So, thank you to all businesses who sponsored. What's that?
We've got more whole sponsors this year.
Yeah, we've doubled the sponsors. Jody's going to be on 6.
Maple 6.
Anybody else going to be out there?
I mean, we got
Shiloh will be
golfers.
out there.
I don't claim to be
Trevor will be out there. I'll be out there. Katie will be out there. All right, so it's going to be a good time.
It's gonna be fun. The Schiller's House team is in it to win it.
Was this Matt's handicaps across the board?
Yeah.
I think it was.
Did you like that? No last name Max Handicap. That was my favorite entry.
So that's going to be good. We also have live music at the end of the tournament from 5 to 9. And anybody's welcome. You don't have to be a whole sponsor or a
7 to 9
golfer.
is open to the public.
7 to 9 is open. to the public.
Anybody's able to sing, is that what you're saying?
No.
Dan Holt.
Dan Holt will be there.
Oh, nice.
Providing music, hopefully on the patio as long as the weather cooperates. So,
Nice.
yeah, so gonna be a fun time all day long, so. That's next.
Oh,
New members. Yeah, Propel Financial Strategies, that's Nate Chesley, Metri, Septic and Excavating, and Children's Fund. New members this month, so thank you to them.
Propel used to be,
Propel was, North Star, was it North Star?
I don't know.
He's out in the Winkles building?
he rebranded
Yeah, he just rebranded to
Nate
Propel.
Chesley,
Nate Chesley.
out by Interiors by Winkle.
You got anything else?
City updates.
City updates, chamber updates. As many of you know, we do have a new chamber director coming in, starting at the end of this month, so I believe it's August 28th. Mackenzie Bloom will be taking over all the operations of the chamber going forward, so I'll still be around to help whenever I can, and obviously Leah's going to be there still, so friendly faces all around, but little transition happening there at the end of the month. It should be all good. Mackenzie's going to do an awesome job for the chamber. So. That's all I got.
Let me get that.
John,
Sure.
what do you got?
did you bring coffee?
I'm gonna get out of the way.
There's some back there, yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot going on. Obviously, very thankful for everybody that's here and everything that everybody does. I have nothing on my agenda. So I just figured I'd sit here and talk.
Yeah.
So what do we want to know? Construction?
Well, the obvious is what is the ETA of Fly-by-Night Incorporated finishing the road?
Fly by night incorporated. Wow. No, so yeah, construction's been going on. Obviously, First Avenue is the biggest concern. They're actually moving along pretty quickly on that one. They should be doing concrete by the end of this week and into early next week, and hopefully paving by the end of next week. So the goal is to have that open within the next 2 weeks. So they're on the southwest part of town right now doing curb and gutter, concrete, flat work. So they should be paving that around that same time frame. But First Ave is definitely the priority to get paved first. So they just got to finish that concrete work and get that done. So. And then Pinewood Lane is also being prepped for curb and gutter at this point too. So all the underground is pretty much done. We're just in the flat work and those finishing touches. So. Yeah. And then we're still in design phase of Main Street. So as we know, Main Street's going to happen next year. We're hoping in the next couple weeks, maybe by the end of August, early September, we'll have some concepts to take a look at. We'll get out to the public as far as streetscape, what the sidewalks, lighting, all those types of things look like, nodes, how decorative do we go, all those types of things, just to make Main Street kind of more consistent and kind of refresh it and maybe rebrand that look a little bit. So the green, the greenscape, all of that will be up for discussion and open. So we'll have probably 3 to 4 concepts of what that could look like, and maybe look at some different variations of that. So we'll have that out, like I said, hopefully September. We'll have some sticker surveys.
We will bid for it.
We were hoping to bid that by the end of the year or early January. So we'd like to get the contractor for Main Streets under contract sooner than later, so we can get that scheduling and that planning all taken care of. Obviously, there's going to be some phasing to that. It's going to be a lot of coordination with everybody. And I know the chamber and the PEC group and all of them have been working on ways to help facilitate some of that communication and wayfinding signs and all of that. So one other project that's going to happen this fall, County 51. So if you think of driving out to Lakeside Golf Course, when you first come into town there, that first crossing on the west part of town. The county's redoing that, resurfacing that. I think they're going to try to start early September. So that'll kind of go how County 8 went this spring. So it's just going to be a full reclamation of the asphalt. And so it'll be under traffic. So they'll be able to navigate that, but they'll try to be flaggers, kind of like they tried on County 8. So we'll see how that goes. It should go pretty quick. That full depth reclamation goes pretty fast. They move along pretty well, so it's a shorter stretch. Not really too many areas of concern there, so it should go well. So they're gonna go from the north side of the rail all the way up to County 60. Yeah. So that's a little haul, but yeah.
It'll be nice.
Yeah,
Those
it's
and
kind of a
stuff are
so,
Zorbas
it'll be-
and more space on the road.
on both sides.
Yeah, turn left.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what else we got? Yeah, I don't know. You gonna get JP Place here anytime soon?
I can talk to him, yeah.
We get Epic or somebody from there. Talk
Get,
about their
get an
project.
update.
Okay.
Right, thanks, John.
Find the right person.
30 seconds, anybody? I know Chris has something.
I wanted to sit in the hot seat.
Oh,
You
you gotta move your own chair.
We can't call it just 30
Hot seat.
seconds, we'll call it the
The
hot
hot
seat.
seat. Who's in the hot
That's
seat?
a great idea.
And go.
Right, and 32 seconds, I need. Chris, Otterberry Farm, we do strawberries, corn maze season. This is gonna be corn maze number 6. And,
It's so
I didn't
cute.
bring a thing, but
So
it's,
cute.
we're featuring Perm this year. So we're gonna scoot the hot seat. If you can find it on the website, it's kind of a ways down, but, it's Perm, it's the Perm new logo, perm.com, but it's just the cursive words. We have the KLN logo in it, we have United Community Bank in it, and we've got a giant turtle in the corner. We are super excited to be highlighting Perm. I just put the picture online late Friday night while people were at WeFest waiting in line 3 hours for beer. And we've had over 20,000 people see it so far. We are really excited because new this year, that's the actual photo. We threw the drone up and that's the picture we got. So, this year, brand new, we're doing a preview night, adults only. We're definitely a younger family, kids focused venue, but we wanted to do something for grown-ups. And so we are doing a Micros in the Maze beer tasting on September 9th. It's going to be a maze preview. It's adults only. We have tickets on sale online for that. We'll have multiple breweries that will be hidden throughout the corn maze. You'll go travel through the maze, find your brewery, get beer samples. We have live music, food trucks, and the New York Mills Lions will be on site. We're using their liquor license to do this, and they will have a full bar set up also. So that's September 9th. We would love, I brought flyers on the table if you have a business in town, or if you want to put this in your employee break room. We'd love to make this an annual event. We already have tickets selling. A lot of them are from the Fargo area that have already purchased tickets. It's a limited amount, so we are thinking they are going to sell out. So I would suggest buying them online sooner rather than later. And we're giving some away. I brought 2 VIP tickets.
Can you only buy them online or do we have
We're
them
doing-
somewhere in town?
Nope, they're only online right now. And we're planning on, so that the idea is we'd like to sell them online so that we have a solid head count for everybody who's coming we want to make sure we have enough beer for everybody, right? So we'd like to sell them ahead of time. But they're online on our website. You can easy click, you get them VIP, you get an hour early. You'll get a swag bag full of extra stuff. So if any of your businesses have coupons or anything, like for pickleball, that you want to get to us by September 1st, we'll throw that in the bags. We do pull people from all over Iowa, the Dakotas, sometimes Wisconsin if we let them come. But yeah, so anyways, if you have any questions, message us. I would love if you would share that with your friends and family. We'll be open September 16th for regular season on the weekends. All the kids' activities, night mazes, MEA will do another band and stuff, but this is the fun grown-up night because kids are back in school and we deserve it, right? That was more than 32 seconds, sorry.
Thanks, Chris. Anybody else for the hot seat? Chuck?
I'll do the hot seat from here. 3 of our 5 new providers that are starting this fall have or are starting this month. So Dr. Shelby Buckholz is family medicine with OPE. She's married to Dan Buckholz from or not Dan.
I know you do.
It's another 3-letter name. Dr. Michael Gator is family medicine. He'll be both in Perham and New York Mills. And then Tim Pazanki is a new PA. He's been a paramedic with us for years, and he is going to be in both the ER and urgent care. So 3 new providers, with 2 more to come.
And I'll take the hot seat from here too, Nick.
Go for it.
I think all you chamber members, every here as a chamber member, received an email from myself that we're putting together welcome baskets for the 14 teachers for Ferndale schools. And that we did this for the first time last year. It was super well received. And it's just really a great way to, these new teachers come to town, they're not that familiar with Perm, and to show your case your business in these bags. So if you want to be a part of that, there's 14. If you want to just drop it off at the chamber office, Leah has been kind enough to post that again and put those together. And then we will be presenting them to the new teachers. They'll be at the September Power Hour to introduce themselves, and we can welcome them there. So if there's anything you want to donate, to just drop it off at the chamber, probably by early September.
Yeah, end of the month, first week
Yeah.
in September.
Yeah. And to those of you that are already done so, thanks a bunch.
Yeah, there's some really awesome stuff in there.
Super awesome stuff.
Oil changes and $25 per cup.
We're gonna do our giveaways. Last chance, hot seat.
Nick, for those of you who used to have a board in the entryway of the pack that you would hang your flyers on and those kinds of things, we're not putting that back up for various aesthetic reasons. But if you have any flyers that you would want to promote, we're putting it up around the TVs that are going around the pack. So we're slowly starting to get up. It'll be roughly 35 TVs when it's all said and done. That'll be for our advertisers. So those stationary ads that were around the track are now going to be around the TV on a PowerPoint presentation. So you're able to put a commercial up or whatever you want. But if you want to email over us any PDF or anything that you want that is PowerPoint ready, we'll plug into our PowerPoint and it would show around the building. Now, not just in that entryway. So keep that in mind if you guys want. If you can't email us over, bring it over. We'll scan it and then we'll put it up on the TVs for you. So. Now she's gonna live.
That's Anybody else need to get in the drawing before we draw? Nice try. Okay.
Crumple. Really? We have like a bunch of.
Okay, our first prize is gonna be Corn Maze tickets. This is not the brew thing, the beer thing, this is just Corn Maze tickets, 2 tickets.
Is he even here?
Who?
Must be present to win.
How did he get in there?
He's here early. Okay. BJ.
Hey.
He wins every year.
I think Dan puts his name in there like.
Okay, we got pizza.
It feels churchy.
One large pizza. Paul.
Are you?
Oh.
Next, we got 2 bacon home pizzas from Pizza Ranch. Brad, pickleball.
Anybody that wants to take me for.
Okay, this is the beer night. VIP tickets.
Katie's sending me like major.
I didn't sign up because I didn't think I could, because I don't like.
Right? Tell all your friends. OMG.
Katie Schiller.
See.
You get it, see? You're welcome.
I think that she was like staring at me like, why did you?
I have like weird powers like that, just so you know.
If you like send me like isn't it like the mega million billion jillion?
Yeah,
send them. Come on, send them.
Send them my way. Sorry.
All right, that's all we've got for this month. Next Power Hour is September 12th. Come and meet the new director.
Yeah.
Fill up your coffee on the way out. Grab a coffee on the way out. Katie Murdoch, HCM. Walk around the school.
Great
Jason here for questions.
questions?
Great presentation.
Thank you. I worked hard on that.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can get out of here without burning up. Without burning up.